How many of these SummerSlam matches will I get? It's the first ever two-night SummerSlam. My name is Sancho West, and welcome to my channel. This is Sancho West Wrestling, where I talk about all that I love about wrestling. And hey, if you love wrestling, be sure to consider to subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about it. This is crazy, right? I felt that this SummerSlam build hasn't been that great, but as always, the WWE tends to put it all together with the two go-homes of Monday Night Raw and recently on SmackDown. I do feel the SmackDown New York really put a lot on the table, and so much has changed literally from SmackDown, which is the night of the recording, into what's going to go down at SummerSlam night 1 and at night 2, especially this whole notion of, did John Cena turn face with a promo? Insane. Let's go ahead and talk about the match card itself. Let's talk about the first one is Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. Now, this is one of these matches that as well, that it did have some build. If you really think about it, Jade Cargill had to go on to win the Queen of the Ring in order to have this chance. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill always had this notion that Naomi would be the one that cashes in on Tiffany Stratton. Naomi has threatened Jade Cargill, saying that, hey, I will always be there to be that nuisance, and eventually I want to cash in on you and you're not going to like it. But hey, all that's gone. Then a nice little backstage segment saying that all that has been off the table and they get to focus on each other. Now, this is basically the future of the women's division. You have Tiffany Stratton, who's a young up-and-coming superstar, with Jade Cargill, who is the kind of like the blue chipper. They put so much investment into Jade Cargill, coming from the AEW side of things, being the kind of the second person coming on from AEW. That's a big name from Cody Rhodes. She was a TBS champion, and then all of a sudden she's now here, and we're wondering what the impact she would have. She has some great moments in the Royal Rumble. She tag teams with Bianca Belair, the moment with Naomi, yada, yada, yada. Jade Cargill has a lot of investment. She's definitely getting given the red carpet. Does that all equate into a dub at SummerSlam? I think so. I think Tiffany Stratton as a face has run its course, and this will kind of start the Tiffany Stratton as a heel. This will be the first movement. I don't think she returns back as a face if she's going to challenge for the title. Jade Cargill will win here, and I don't think there's going to be any shenanigans from the Naomis or Bianca Belairs of the world. In the second match, we have Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. This is definitely the celebrity edition of the WWE's PLEs. There are so many different celebrity matches that you can think of. This is not on the level of Drew Carey at the Royal Rumble. That is not the level of Bad Bunny either. This is its own thing. I think Jelly Roll has definitely shown some flashes of some confidence in the ring. I think Logan Paul does a great job selling for Jelly Roll, but where it kind of ends for me is where Jelly Roll be able to go in the ring with Drew McIntyre. And what is this match for in terms of beyond just getting the clicks and views and the virality of it all? One of the kind of secret delight that I've been having throughout this entire match is Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. That build of having these two knuckleheads, these two keyboard warriors, these internet trolls be a kind of a tag team together, and it's kind of worked out really well. And I love their really surface level heel promos of Logan Paul saying he's not one of us. Maybe I'm expecting Drew McIntyre to turn on Logan Paul. I at first thought Randy Orton turns on Jelly Roll and gives him a punt kick into his jelly hole. I don't think that's going to happen. Instead, you're going to have just a typical Randy Orton Jelly Roll winning. Maybe it'd be really cool if you get a follow-up between Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. In the next match, you have the Judgment Day of Raquel Rodriquez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. This is one of those ones that I'm kind of future-proofing myself. I do believe that the WWE is investing in Liv Morgan's return, and the kind of story that they were leading up to when Liv Morgan kind of being pushed out of Judgment Day, that things were better without Liv Morgan, that Liv Morgan was the thing that was holding them back, that they were having Roxanne Perez being the new answer, that Finn Balor was being listened to as the leader. All these things were leading to Liv Morgan feeling isolated, and I do believe that they were going to continue the story, Liv Morgan and Dom and Roxy and all that kind of stuff, and the only way that works is if Judgment Day holds on to as much gold as possible, and they have so much prosperity going forward without Liv Morgan. Because of that, I'm holding on to that storyline more so than Charlotte, Flair, and Alexa Bliss. It's a very fun storyline. I like Charlotte getting pops. It was interesting to see the 14-time champion get a great hot tag from Alexa Bliss. But before this match, at Evolution, all that was great, but I still think that tag team is in its infancy. I don't want these single stars of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to beat an established tag team of Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Now, granted, it's not like this huge historic tag team, but still, I think Raquel Rodriguez and Roxy win here, and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, they're just not ready yet. In the next match, we have Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman. And this is just a tag team match. This one feels weird to me, considering that LA Knight is not part of SummerSlam. And because that LA Knight is not part of SummerSlam, maybe LA Knight runs interference here and helps out Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. I do think Roman Reigns and Jey Uso will lose because, let's face it here, if LA Knight's not here, then he's not anywhere going to be involved with this finish. Maybe they introduce a third member. I think the SummerSlam is interesting. After watching WWE Unreal, which is the Netflix documentary, I do feel that the WWE wants to make a big splash. And what kind of a big splash you can make than to kind of add another member for Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to work with while Seth Rollins is injured. There's a lot of speculation that Seth Rollins will be involved in SummerSlam at some point in the match, in the night with a cash-in. I don't see all that happening. I do think if Braun Breaker is the leader now, then they're going to need a third member. And considering that Carmelo Hayes has been on the shelf for a while, Carmelo Hayes becomes the third member, helping them defeat Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross in a singles match. If Kross wins, Sami Zayn has to say the words, Kross is right. If Zayn wins, Kross must say, I was wrong about Zayn. I don't know what this match is, dude. This feels like a weird third match to have at a SummerSlam PLE. This is kind of like a very interesting thing to have here, considering that in Triple H's era, you don't typically have these random feud matches where they don't have a belt or like this very historic storyline. Now, a lot has been invested into the storyline. There have been a lot of segments, but it still feels like it's still in its infancy and it still doesn't need to be at a PLE. Every time it feels like it needs to be at a PLE, I feel like we could have had more matches on regular Raw. We could have had tag team matches involving Sami and Karrion, intergender matches, mixed tag is all things of that sort involving Karrion and Scarlet, and Lyra and Sami. I don't know. The whole point I'm trying to make is I still feel like this feud is not ready to be blown off just yet, simply because Karrion hasn't had his big aha moment. Yes, he's beaten Sami Zayn with a lead pipe, but there hasn't been this moment like, oh my God, Karrion Kross, you're making it, brother. It still feels like there's a big question mark and cloud in the air. Is Karrion Kross even re-signed with the WWE? These are questions I should not be having. I do predict that Karrion Kross needs to win this. I want Karrion to win this, and I don't want Karrion to win this and by, oh, he loses to Sami, but he looks really strong and gets the dub. Or Sami uses something nefarious to cheat against Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross was right. I want Karrion Kross to break Sami Zayn's bones. If he does lose here, takes a pin, please, for the love of God, attack Sami Zayn and break his bones, kayfabe-wise. In the main event for night one, Gunther, the champion, versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. It feels like it's about time. This has to be a CM Punk win, simply because CM Punk being part of your roster, being the face of the company, being a big figure in WWE Unreal Netflix documentary, and not having gold feels strange. It kind of feels like when, Cody Rhodes says, hey, I'm an EVP in AEW and I don't want to have gold or the big heavyweight title. It felt weird for Cody not to ever carry the big championship at AEW. So Cody, it feels like the same kind of situation that CM Punk is in right now. Like CM Punk is a steward. Like he says all the right things. He does all the right things. He does all the right promos. He does all the right promotion spots, things of that sort. Give him a title. It is time. I think Gunther was great in terms of a heel champion, in a sense of like his IC title hold is better than his heavyweight title hold even before the Jey Uso loss. I just feel like Gunther right now needs to go back into needs to be kind of polished a little bit, needs some kind of new presentation or something to refresh Gunther. And I think him being maybe a nuisance to CM Punk might be that answer, or him going down to facing Rusev and Sheamus. I don't know. Gunther needs a break from the title picture to make me feel like, man, that IC title, I need a break from it, because I feel like I'm still holding on to the IC title reign. CM Punk needs to be champion. It is his time. Is Seth Rollins going to interfere? Is Seth Rollins going to cash in? That could be the case. I see that happening as well, but I'm going to stick to my guns that Seth Rollins, they don't want to pull the trigger on that yet until he's like 100% close to healthy, unless he just had a minor knee injury. In night two, stick with me. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, consider subbing once again. Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, the triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. I'd be amiss to think that it'd be strange for me to say that Naomi loses here. Naomi is just literally in her 2-month run, didn't really have that many championship defenses, especially on the PLE. This is the first PLE defense, I believe. I do believe Naomi does lose here to Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley has to win at some point. Rhea Ripley cannot keep challenging and losing. I know people are fatigued with Rhea Ripley. People don't want Rhea Ripley to continue the challenge and just all of a sudden get her way no matter what. She could just skip the line no matter what she does. And I think because of that, the WWE cannot continue holding Rhea Ripley back. They got to give Rhea Ripley an opportunity to win here. Rhea Ripley does win. And at least I know there's that camp of people saying, well, what about Rhea Ripley and Io Sky? Io Sky has never lost to Rhea Ripley. They keep honing on that. But I do think that WWE could still continue that going forward, because then it could be Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the title continuing pushing forward. I don't think it hurts Naomi. I know she's a newly minted heel champion. I don't think it hurts her in any kind of way. I do kind of think that she'd be more scarier and dangerous chasing the title. We'll see. I think that because of the popularity of Unreal, they want Rhea to be the one that be the champion. It's just my hunch about it. I know it is not a popular pick, but I'm picking Rhea Ripley. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for a no disqualification, no count out last chance match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. I'm like looking at this thing like, what is it saying? There's just so many stipulations in this match. This is one of these matches that it is interesting. Here it is. If Lynch wins, Valkyria can no longer challenge for the title as long as Lynch is champion. It's one of those. So this is no count out last chance match. I just feel that Lyra's not quite yet ready. You could argue that Becky Lynch is ready to move back to the main event picture, but I still think this IC title needs to marinate a little bit more, needs to get that shine from Becky Lynch a little bit longer. I think Lyra Valkyria, where does she go? That's the question I always ask myself when I make these predictions, is where does she go? Who's her next opponent? Is it Bayley? If it's Bayley and Lyra, sure. Bayley is in the state of being lost and has no direction. She's doubting herself. But I do feel like Bayley as a heel doesn't have that much pizzazz to me, right? There's nothing, no teeth sunken into it right now, because at most she could just beat up Lyra. But I do think the idea of Bayley challenging Becky for the IC title would be a little bit more stronger pick for me. So for that reason, I'm going to pick Becky Lynch. The next match, we have Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu for the steel cage match for the Men's United States Championship. This is one of those matches that it's basically a run back. I know Solo Sikoa basically beat Jacob Fatu in a nefarious way to regain the title in the debut of Tala Tonga. What I don't like about this match is Solo Sikoa is supposed to be building up this new faction with Tala Tonga, Tongaloa, and JC Mateo, and it seems as though is that Jacob Fatu has been so overpowered OP that he just decimates every single one of them. Could this be another introduction for another Bloodline member or the Solo Sikoa member? Like is Tama Tonga come back? I don't know. Does Zilla Fatu get introduced? I don't know. My point is just Jacob Fatu, if he regains the title here, what does that happen with Solo Sikoa's faction? I wish that the WWE did what Solo Sikoa said that he was going to do. When he said that if Roman Reigns beats him, he was going to fall in line. And I love this idea of this entire big faction just running all over the SmackDown division for a while, especially the mid-card. Is it most likely Jacob Fatu is going to win? Yes, I do predict Jacob Fatu does win with the help of Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. That's right, I said Jey Uso. I think Jacob, Jimmy, and Jey going forward as a trio against Solo Sikoa will kind of be the rehashing of the Bloodline storyline, but instead of Roman Reigns being the main character, it'd be Jacob Fatu slotting into that case, and it gives something for Jey Uso to do, considering that after that match with Roman and Jey in night one, I think they want to kind of revamp Jey Uso by putting him back with his family. In the next match, we have Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the IC men's title. This is quite interesting. At first, I thought AJ would definitely be the winner here, but considering of the new development happening where Dominic Mysterio is going to be in the Fatal 4-Way for the Triple Mania for the AAA Mega Championship, which is their big title, I do see Dominic Mysterio being the 2-belt holder. The Mega Championship and the IC title will be looking great. I think it is time to put the rocket on Dominic Mysterio. I love AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles would be better suited helping out TNA. I think AJ Styles, considering he's at the end of his career, he's in the, I don't see, where does he go with that IC title? You know what I mean? I'm having a lot more questions with it, but when seeing Dominic Mysterio walking around the IC title and the Mega Championship, dog, let's give this man a little bit of like polish. And while Liv Morgan's away and while Roxy's dealing with tag team, let Dom stand on his own. And I think Dom doing, double duty, running the AAA and the IC title will do great. Considering he didn't have that many matches, I'm still holding on to that WrestleMania moment with Dominic Mysterio. In the next match, we have the TLC 2, man. The SmackDown division for going forward. We got the Wyatt Sicks, we got Andrade and Ray, we got DIY, we got Fraxium, Motor City, and we have the Street Profits all going into that six-pack. I love a six-pack TLC match. I think this is great. This is a great call. I'm glad that the WWE did not have this at the go home on SmackDown. Even would have been nice to have it on SmackDown, but still, this deserves to be on PLE, and the SmackDown division deserved to be on WrestleMania, and I'm glad that they're here at SummerSlam in the night too, and it definitely fills the void of a much needed. It could definitely steal the night as well. I'm expecting a big car crash, but I am expecting the Wyatt Sicks to retain here, considering that there is a Universal maze. For those who don't know, in the United States here, there's Universal Studios. Inside Universal Studios during the Halloween season, there is a Wyatt Sicks WWE maze, which is like using all the characters and all the kind of fun things. And I think the WWE wants to keep the momentum, and it'd be cool for the Wyatt Sicks to hold on to the titles for a long time. How do you build a heel faction? Give them gold. How do you make them annoying to deal with, and how do you make the baby faces kind of step up? Let them keep winning and winning and winning and winning. And I do want the Wyatt Sicks to freebird it. That'd be sick. As much as I love Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy, I don't think their moveset is as interesting as an Eric Rowan. Put in Uncle Howdy. Let's mix it up a bit. Let's give these guys a little bit of different obstacles in terms of the rest of the SmackDown division to overcome them. If they want to complete the prophecy that they want to test the Brotherhood, they need to win this match. In the final match of SummerSlam Night 2, it is John Cena, the champion, versus Cody Rhodes in a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. If you did not watch SmackDown, you just missed this crazy promo that John Cena, like I mentioned in the opening of this video, basically refuted everything that happened at WrestleMania, the heel turn at Elimination Chamber, and said that he sacrificed 25 years of his entire life for 5 months of who he lost who he was, but he did it for TV ratings, for shocking TV moments, so to speak. It was quite interesting because he said that I'm all alone, that he went out on a limb, and Travis Scott's no longer around. For those who don't know, the WWE kind of have a falling out with Travis Scott, and The Rock no longer around. So John Cena was a man left on his own, and basically he lost himself, and he cut this promo and saying, like, just mark it down, August 1st, 2025 in New Jersey, the champ is here. John Cena is back. I'm going to give you what you want, Cody Rhodes. And that's what's happening at the time of this recording. And it's like, it's pulling me apart because there's two different things, right? Is John Cena just playing this heel masterfully to get the sympathy of Cody Rhodes, to make Cody Rhodes hesitate once again when he got to that moment? Because Cody Rhodes said, I'm not going to hesitate, John. So now that, he's saying, I'm John Cena, I'm the guy that's back. Is he going to trick Cody Rhodes again? That'd be great. That would change the whole narrative of the promo, of course, and be like, wow, you swindler, John Cena. But it's hard for me to see John Cena lose here, regardless if that promo happened or not, if he's a heel or a face. I do believe that if he is a face, John Cena can't lose, right? John Cena cannot lose, and he cannot go down to Cody Rhodes. And if he's a heel, I want him to continue being a heel because it will be a way that he deceived Cody Rhodes. And at the same time, I think there's much more gas in the tank for John Cena. I had this debate or this conversation with my co-host on the Wrestling School podcast. I said, dude, at the end of the day, if John Cena could finish his run, his entire retirement year as a heel, he could arguably be the best face of all time and be one of the greatest heels of all time, right? It's a debate that he's on Mount Rushmore as a face, but as a heel, he still has a ways to go. And if he can figure out this way to navigate this, and if he did cut that promo and stuck to being a heel, he'll be in that conversation like he's a top 20, like top 15 type of vibe, right? So that's where we're at here with this John Cena. And I do believe John Cena has much more storylines and webs to go off as champion. If Triple H believes that adding a stipulation, a championship match for Goldberg versus Gunther was a must to have that title there, then I think John Cena going forward needs to have those stakes of every match needs to be for a title. There's no kind of anything that will have that same kind of must-watch PLE or must-watch television if John Cena is not the champion. Of course, as time gets closer and closer to the end, it's going to be must watch, but must watch even bonus if he was still the champion. Thank you much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of what's going to happen at SmackDown. At SummerSlam. I will be live on here for Sancho West Wrestling at my watch parties both nights. And the one to make sure to let you know is that WWE has been very aggressive and not copyright striking, thankfully, but copyright blocking them. So if you want to see my reactions live, check them out. Pop me open in the browser. I'll be there. Thank you so much for being there for me. And thank you so much for watching this prediction video. Peace.